Greetings, Dr. Azhar. It's a pleasure to have you with us as an expert in crowdsourcing domain. As you know, this interview would probably take about 15 to 20 minutes. But before we proceed to the interview, let me introduce myself for the record. First of all, let me tell you something about myself. I am Hassan Humayun, pursuing my doctor's studies in software engineering from School of Computing and University of Technology, Malaysia, Johor. I'm working under the supervision of Dr. Masita Ghazali. She's an associate professor at the School of Computing, UTM, Malaysia. And I'm co-supervised by Dr. Noman Malik, assistant professor from the Faculty of Engineering and Computer Science, National University of Modern Languages, Pakistan. A little bit about my work. My work mainly focuses on the motivation and sustenance of crowd engagement during crowdsourcing. During the study on crowdsourcing, I have identified 19 motivational factors that required experts' feedback that the studies claim to have sustained crowds participation during crowdsourcing. The received feedback will help and guide me to implement the identified motivational factors in my study, which are deemed important and beneficial to help sustain participation in a crowd-based task. Having said that, let us proceed. May I ask you to introduce yourself, please, like your name, degree awarding university, designation, workplace, etc.
Hello, my name is Dr. Azhar, and I'm working in Capital University of Science and Technology as Associate Professor in Software Engineering Department. I did my PhD from HUS to Wuhan back in 2030, and I am involved in the crowdsourcing domain in terms of doing some outsourcing of some of the projects which are relevant to some annotations of the data. Sometimes you have a collection of data which are relevant to some text mining domains. So these set of data sets and these set of activities are catered and have done through the crowdsourcing experts, and sometimes some of my students and some colleagues are involved which can help us in the crowdsourcing model, which really help us a lot to save over time and to conduct our research more efficiently and to get the much reliable results as per domain requirements. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Azhar, for that. One more thing. Before we proceed to the questions related to the motivational factors, let me ask you if you're familiar with the factors and descriptions that were emailed earlier. If you are familiar, that's okay. We can skip these 2 slides. If you want to go through, I can give you some time. We can go through the factors and the descriptions for further analysis.
I think so, it's okay.
It's okay?
It's okay.
Okay. We will. I will show you the slides later when we'll be doing the questions as well. Okay. Let me brief the background of the study related to motivation and the need to sustain it during crowdsourcing contests from past literature. The scholars who have considered intrinsic and extrinsic motivation to be important for initial participation, they say it suffers, as there is evidence that participants' activities evolve during crowdsourcing settings, and it is beyond their knowledge to understand which phenomena and how to motivate the crowd further to achieve the project's goal. I have a reference. A. Tanja is basically from Stanford University. In their studies, motivation, crowd participation, and crowdsourcing policy making, he argues that motivation was measured using cross-sectional data. Thus, the analysis lacks the evolution of primary motives. Early studies suggest that the presented results on crowd motivation are either inconclusive or have considered motivation in only one dimension by considering its origin or considering the cross-section of the study for sustained participation. So this is the background. This is basically what are the problems. Either they are measuring the motivation in cross-section, like if there are 3 parts in the study, they're only considering one part, whether they were motivated, the crowd was motivated or not. And earlier they say they consider origin or considered the cross-section of the study for sustained participation. So it lacks the evolution in primary motives. So the thing is, they haven't identified why and how the primary motivations, they evolve. Okay, let's move on. We have a question. So there will be two parts to this interview. In the first part, I need generic feedback on the motivation factors that were identified from the literature, and the part two is about scenario based. Let us start with part number one. Besides your primary intrinsic or extrinsic motives to join such a contest, consider yourself a part of a contest, and besides your initial intentions, do you think learning is the key factor during a crowdsourcing contest that can motivate you to keep participating? Would you believe? I need your answer on this, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, sure. Especially for the people who are the newcomer in that domain, that kind of motivation factor, which is learning, is a very important factor to participate in it. Because nowadays this is not only kind of a skill, but you can earn, and you can run your business as well based on providing the crowdsourcing services as well.
Thank you, doctor. Another thing, besides your primary intentions, do you believe altruistically contributing during crowdsourcing contests can motivate you to keep participating?
And can you a little bit define this term?
Altruistically, I'll define the term to you. Altruistic is basically
You are going to measure this.
yeah,
And then this fourth one?
fourth one. Okay, so do you believe, after understanding the altruism, do you believe that this could be the key factor that can keep you motivated?
I think to some extent, not we can say that everyone can motivate through this factor, but to some extent it based upon some, might be based on some beliefs, some values, some culture. But if you think that this might be taken as a more professional factor, might be not.
Might be not. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Azhar. Another question that requires your attention is, besides your primary intentions, whatever the intentions you participated earlier, do you believe contests provide monetary reward during crowdsourcing contests can motivate you to keep participating? How much do you believe monetary reward, like any amount of
Any
money,
price or kind of a consent
is important
yeah,
for you?
Yeah, this is also important. Like there are various organizations, in past we have seen that they announce some different rewards and prizes if people can participate as a crowdsourcing participant, and they can further optimize, and they can build a better system for them as well. So for sure, this is important.
This is very important to you. Okay. How much do you believe, if you enjoy a contest, do you believe that is a factor that could keep you sustain the participation or keep participating in the contest, or any other type of campaign?
I think this is more towards, if you are doing a work in a kind of a domain where which you are more related, and you are providing a crowdsourcing services or as a participant, then you can say that you are enjoying because this is your domain, your work. But if I am doing a kind of a work just because for the sake of monetary reward or kind of many other factors, then might be enjoyment factor is missing. But it could be a aligned factor with some other factors if you are doing or working in that model, in the crowdsourcing model, and that domain is specifically with you, your domain.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Another question is basically related to environmental specific contests, like if you are into some kind of specific community you're working for, or you are working for some other company specifically. So do you believe contributing to one's own community is a factor that can motivate you to continue participation? It could be any campaign, like even it can be something where you are basically cleaning the city, cleaning the streets, or you are doing a water cleaning of your filtration system. So do you believe working or contributing to one's own community is very important for you?
Yes, for sure. Because as we are teaching in the university, so in even our university mission, it is very much clear that the purpose of providing the education to our students is to contribute in the society, to contribute in the community. So if they are doing this kind of a work based on These kind of motivation factor, it must be there.
Uh, Another question is regarding the if you believe autonomy to perform a task is the key motivation factor that will keep you part of the any campaign. I mean, like when it comes to autonomy, is like whether you want to perform the task within time limits, within a day, within an hour, or would you believe that autonomy is more important to you when you are performing any task?
Um, to some extent, we can say that like the services or the domain in which we are performing is, to some extent, autonomy is good.
Autonomy
Like
is
if you are working on some sort of a project which has some limit with respect to time and something, then in that case it is okay. But if you talk about in terms of other motivational factor, like if you are contributing toward a society, then autonomy might not be a factor जो जिससे आप bound हो.
right. Another thing is with respect to autonomy is like some contest they ask you to, if you once you enter a contest you can't leave the contest. If you leave the contest during the time period, then they can cancel your membership and they will not pay you anything. Or if you have won any rewards, they will not pay you out for that. So the autonomy is over there on in that type of campaigns is very important.
Constraints, kind of a
Yeah,
putting a constraints
constraints on
in
it.
terms.
So autonomy,
I don't think so. In that context, that could be a good idea or could be a motivational factor, because might be a person is interested and he has a capability and expertise to do that, but on that situation he might be not in the kind of a form to deliver.
okay.
So in that case, maybe you lose some
Autonomy
good
is
resources.
autonomy becomes
Yeah,
important.
yes.
Important. Okay. Uh, another question is related. How much do you believe the goal clarity? If you are in a contest, you are given a task, and how much do you believe goal clarity and the ease of doing the task on a platform is a key factor that can continue to participate? I mean, like you are in some kind of
Yeah,
contest,
I
and
understand. I
whether you
understand.
know a little bit about it or you know more about it, goal clarity and ease of
I
platform.
think so. If you know the bigger picture, like for what you are doing it will help you to do this thing in a better way. So that's important, that if you are doing something or part of something, you are aware about the ultimate goal
Okay.
and you are clear about what where it goes. And platform is also obviously because it will give you an ease of doing things.
How much help is there on the
Yes,
platform? It's important.
yes, that's important.
Do you believe now these next four they are somewhat interlinked? How much do you believe self-expression, like you are expressing yourself, is important? If you want, I can we can go back to the table, and we can see what is self-expression means. Back one more back. Self-expression is here. Is self-expression. The expression of one's feelings, thoughts, or ideas, especially during a task. What do you think what you are doing? How you can express yourself,
I think,
your ideas in a
yeah, again we go back to that other factor. If you are participating and doing something just based on a reward and kind of a thing, then might be self-expression is no more related. But if you are contributing some way into the society without any getting any reward or any prize or anything, then in that case you have a freedom of self-expression to in that context that you can do things in a much improved and a better way. So in that case, I think so self-expression is a good motivational factor, just to give maybe might be the most positive feedback of doing things in a better way.
okay, doctor. Thank you very much. Another question is about presentation. How no, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so presentation is about how much you think whatever action you're doing can influence others to see you as a capable person, as a successful person, as an experienced person. Do you believe self-presentation is important? Or basically showing off that you are being a part of any campaign, that you're working for Microsoft, you have done something for Microsoft, that type of presentation? Do you believe when you show this type of presentation to others, people will cherish you or they will praise you? Do you believe it's important?
Uh, if you can say, just to set a kind of impression on your
Colleagues
colleague
or
or
peers?
audience or whatever,
Yeah.
to that extent that might be okay. But I believe that more display would be of your work.
But the literature suggests that whenever the people, when they are in social type of work,
Yeah, they feel
the
more
presentation
confidence,
is,
like
yeah,
they feel more confidence that we are labeled, or we are linked with these names which are very known.
right.
So this gives more confidence in representing themselves. Yeah.
Similarly, Dr. Azhar, another question is about reputation. Do you believe the reputation, the beliefs or opinions that are generally held about something or someone is very important? I mean, do you believe
Yes,
that will increase your
yes,
reputation in the
yes, yes.
community?
Very, very important,
Very.
especially in the crowdsourcing. Reputation is very, very important, because
When you're working as a part of community,
as a part of a community, or even if you are a part of a team, something is relying on your work, and you have a previous reputation like this of delivering things in time with as per quality, that obviously helps to set a confidence on you as well.
doctors, another thing regarding the recognition. Do you believe if somebody recognize
Yes,
your
yes,
knowledge or your actions, do you believe it's
yes,
important?
yes.
It's
This is
important.
the main human factor as well.
Okay.
Recognition and reward.
Yes, sir. So the next questions are probably regarding the environmental specific. If you are in a, do you believe if you are in a campaign, the duration of competition is very important for you? Like I ask you to be a part of a competition that is 30 minutes long, or a 1 month long, or 1 year long. Would you believe the duration of competition is important for you? Is the key factor that can sustain you?
Yeah, at least uh, to plan something, or just to limit or bound yourself, and more focus towards some sort of a competition or contest. You can say that.
Okay,
Yes.
another question is regarding the number of competitions an individual has participated before. I mean, like you probably being a part
Previous
of
history.
previous history,
Okay.
you have been doing some number of competitions and you are very experienced. Do you believe that's a key factor that can
Yes. Yes.
that's important as well?
Yes.
Okay. Another question is regarding the number of competitor teams,
Yes.
the people who are working against you,
Against
and
you.
you have competition. Do you believe competition is something that you would prefer in any contest?
Yeah, in a
To
positive sense, this will actually give you
reputation and
yeah,
recognition as well.
reputation, recognition, and this will set a tone that what kind of a, or at what level you are going to deliver something or to do something. Without competition, you know that
Is not
is
valuable.
yeah, not
Okay.
valuable.
Another thing is regarding about team's engagement with positive performance. Do you believe team engagement is important if they have behaved very well with you, whether you were very successful when you were working as a team? Do you believe the teams are important?
Yes.
Would you engage in a team?
In team, the things are, I think, more easier as compared to if you are doing things individually, because positive negatives varies from individual to individual.
Yeah, but in
So
team sometimes people don't work. You have to do
yeah,
everything.
people think, well, sometimes when the people have some uh, interpersonal issues, and sometimes when they are expecting something at very high level, and the team might be not at that in that sense. But because in that domain, and especially in the software engineering domain, we believe in
So
teamwork.
the thing is, if you had a very positive feedback about your team, you will definitely work with them.
Yes.
Okay. Then. Next thing is about the amount of prize. Would you consider the amount of prize, whether it's big or small, be the
Yeah.
part of motivation,
Yeah.
the continuing your
Yeah.
participation? Okay.
Again, it depends on the age group. In the
Age.
age group, maybe to some extent, the people, if the person is somewhat established, he is professionally well, there might be the prize money is not important for him. Maybe recognition is more important.
Right.
Might be he'll do something for you without any money, but he needs some recognition. Might be.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sir. Another thing is about, do you believe the people who are working for the brands Like if you are working for World Health Organization or Intel or HP, do you believe that engaging yourself in such type of campaigns will be the key factor? The brands will be the key factor that can keep you
Yes,
motivated.
that actually set the tone again, set the tone and give you a basic confidence, at least to face the audience and to start from some level, and that these brands and these names will help you to boost your confidence and boost your portfolio and work as well.
Thank you, Doctor. One last question, and the last question is regarding: do you believe time spent with the company, the tenure, is a factor that can keep you motivated and sustain participation?
Yes,
How much?
because
Like, if you are
yeah.
like, if you have worked with some X company, and they ask you to come back and do the campaign or any contest with us, would you go back to that company?
Yes, sure.
Thank you, Dr. Hazar. Okay, now this is the second part, and the second part is we will be considering a scenario. The first scenario is about ecological monitoring, where you will be, well, you consider yourself as being part of a campaign where you need to plant a trees or a sapling around your environment. What would you be? What would be your initial intentions to take part in such a contest?
To make your environment green
Environment green for
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 the
the
society,
future,
for the community.
for the future
Yeah.
generations. Okay. Do you concur if the contest helped you learn about the trees and plantation? Would that encourage you to continue participation besides your primary intentions?
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Because this is also obviously a complete domain, and this will also help us in learning some new information about these trees, plants.
Exactly. So, do you believe during a contest one can become familiar with the task environment through repetitive tasks? So, if you're doing the task again and again and again, will you will experience involved autonomy that will give you some autonomy over the time and will show an upward trends of contributing willingness? Would you be part of the campaign if there's autonomy given to you to perform a task?
I think in this scenario might be not.
If you know how to perform a task?
No, if you I this is good that if I know how to perform a task, but autonomy in that sense, if you have some targeted timelines or something like that, like how this much tree you have to plant it and this much area you have to cover it, then this might be not a good motivation factor for me at least.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Another thing, do you think the tree plantation campaign can motivate the crowd to continue participation altruistically? Do you
Yeah,
think the
yeah.
altruistic part is there?
Yes.
Okay. How much do you believe that you will enjoy such type of campaign, tree plantation?
For me, obviously there is part of enjoyment over there, uh, and that could be a main motivation factor for me as well in this scenario at least.
Okay, Doctor, thank you. Another last question with respect to the tree plantation would be, do you believe in appropriate graphic content is designed that would motivate a worker to sustain participation? Like, I can show you a video.
We need to motivate to participate in that campaign
Yeah,
and
if you
consent.
need more, I can show you a video where I can actually show you how the videos are being used for marketing, for sales, and for contributions. Do you want to see the video?
Azhar developed the social swipe, the first poster that
So this
accepts
is the
credit
graphic content
cards.
they are showing in a video.
The poster makes giving easier than ever before, and you
And
can
what
see
I
the
meant by
results.
appropriate, this is
Your
appropriateness.
donation can provide daily bread for a family in Peru,
So say people are
or
enjoying,
help
they
an
are happy
imprisoned
when
Filipino
they are doing
child
something for
return
the
to a normal life,
community.
all for just €2. These unique billboards were developed together with Stripe.com, a leader in innovative payment solutions. The
And this
posters
actually
initially
motivate them to
attracted
start
people's
on
attention
it.
in
Yeah,
international
just by
airports,
watching
The
the
idea
video.
is
but
behind
stayed
it to
with
help
them
others.
long
Yeah,
after.
they are actually
When
showing you
donors
how
received
people
their
are
credit
being
card statement,
stranded
they were
in
asked to turn their
because of they
one-off
don't have
donation
food or
into
something.
a monthly.
So,
In that context, this is okay.
so
Yeah.
if do you believe that if appropriate graphic
Yes,
content is
yes,
shown,
it's
it is
appropriate.
valuable? Okay. Now let's go to part 2. Okay, sorry. Final thoughts about this campaign. Finally, I would request you to rate the motivational factors shown in the table. So, do you believe the one which I have asked you the questions? Do you think, other than that, do you believe any other factors that could be very valuable for tree plantation if you can choose any
Tree plantation.
for tree plantation? Learning is already there.
Learning is there.
Altruism was already there. Enjoyment, hedonic was already there, and autonomy was already there. So, do you believe any other things which may be important? This is for the community.
Community भी है. Service for the community. Self-expression, there is a term called self-satisfaction.
But that was not identified factor, to be honest. Sorry, that
Yeah.
was not the part which literature suggested that it sustained the participation in any
Yeah, but in
literature.
that scenario,
Yeah, that
I
could be
thought
one.
that-
Yes.
I thought there, but this is somehow linked with the community as well.
Yeah.
I think so. This,
Do you believe whatever we are building, for that the goal clarity and ease of use should be there for the platform? That could motivate. If you would like to add this part, that's up to you.
goal
For
clarity and ease of use? No, I think for learning, self-presentations, community, and some sort of recognition is good enough for that domain.
one last thing which is very important nowadays is the monitored reward. Do you believe we should be paying monitored reward to people for planting a tree? Or altruism, they don't need monitored rewards for that type of campaigns, if they're entering into a campaign that is more altruistic?
Yes, you can say that, but you think that this is a kind of a more of a social contribution
Yeah, it
in
is.
terms of
It should be kept altruistic rather
Yeah.
than paid for.
Yeah, paid.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Because they are doing this for themselves as well.
Yes, exactly. Now, there's another part. We will be considering our contest related to a communal socialization, whereas a crowd will participate to provide and your expert opinion related to vehicle maintenance and care. So most of the people you've seen, they don't know about the cars, or they are mostly who are experienced. They know more about the cars, so they can give their expert opinions in any social platform to other people to understand the car maintenance or the care. Secondly, they can ask questions from the experts, and as a community, they can socialize with other people and they can provide them better ideas. Do you believe, what would be your initial intentions to take part in such a contest?
I think first learning, and second might be a reward.
A reward.
Might be a reward.
Okay. Okay. Do you concur if the contest helps you learn about the vehicle maintenance or the car care would be a key factor that will be motivating you to sustain participation?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be more
Because this is need, basic need, and this is no, the car and the vehicles might be always in your life.
exactly.
So
Any type of
yes,
vehicle, whether
yes, any type.
it's a car or it's a bike
Whatever.
or
Yes.
Okay, do you believe during a contest one can become familiar with the task environment through a repeated task? Will you experience involved autonomy? If you are doing something like replying to a person, or if you are doing any task to show, let's suppose, your vehicle cleanliness or how much your car engine is clean, that type of task. Do you believe if you have repeated doing that work, that type of action will give you autonomy to do it correctly always, to perform the action? It will be easy for you.
Yeah, it would be easy for me because the major objective is to keep learning and keep my car maintained.
Yeah. Now the thing is about the task and actions. Like if somebody give you the idea how to.
might be I will start getting boring when it is becoming a routine for me,
Okay, okay. When it becomes routine, then
and
it becomes
the
boring.
learning factor is getting lesser and lesser.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if let's suppose somebody tells you how to read the profile of your car, and I ask you to go and take a picture of your car tire profile and post it, so that we know that you have learned something. Would that be a part that you think, after repeated tasks, doing similar type of tasks, would be easier for you to take a picture and upload them?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that such socializing campaigns can motivate the crowd to continue participation, to show self-presentation, expression, recognition, and reputation? First of all, I need your opinion on the four of them, and then I would ask you to rate them, and which one you believe is the most important, or whether it's not important. That's totally up to you. So self-presentation is there. If you are socializing in a campaign, do you believe expression is should be there? Recognition is very important. Reputation is very important. All four are important. Three important, two important, only one is important, or none of them is important. That's up to you.
I think self-presentation and expression is more important as compared to individual recognition and review.
Okay, so you believe recognition is important than reputation, or reputation is important than recognition? Recognition is more important. Okay, let's move on. Do you think in such type of contest, if you enjoy being an expert or being a better person, or whether you are enjoying how the people are providing you the information, do you believe the enjoyment could be part that will keep you continue participation?
Yeah.
That's important to you again. Okay, so the last thing, if you believe if appropriate graphic content is shown, that will motivate the workers to continue participate in a task. How you are doing the task, how much is important.
The same answer with that which we talk about.
Yeah, like a person shows you a video that a person is very worried about if he wants to change a tire. The tires are worn out, and he wants to get a new one. So, do you believe a specific type of video graphic content can motivate you to guide him about how to buy a tire? Yeah.
How to make the job easier. Yeah. Yes.
Again, the same thing. Do you believe in such type of contest? Which factors you believe would be more important other than the one which are asked? Any other you want to add in the in the socialization of the community with respect to car maintenance? Any factor you believe is important, which I have left actually, or not discussed with you?
I think so. Okay.
Amount of price or monetary reward, do you believe it's important or not?
Once again, it depends. Again, these two factors which I told you already, that the intentions, the age, the fame.
I personally believe monetary rewards are more important when the information is very unique, or very critical, or very require more knowledge. Then it's better to ask for the monetary rewards, or to provide monetary rewards, other than the information which is like available on a common grounds.
I think if something is unique and something is learnable, then in that case a person might not go for the reward. He will only go for the reward if he is in need.
So you believe that will be contributing to community. Eudaimonia is more important. You believe working for the community.
Flourishing of the community, yeah.
That is more important.
Is more important.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Azhar. That would be it. Thank you, Dr. Azhar, for your time.
Thank you.
And so nice of you to help us with and guide us with your expert opinions.